Fuck turning into 11. The dial's way past that and we're going full fucking throttle. Welcome to Everyone Who Does Music, where we have yet another long hiatus from videos and yet another weird camera situation going on here because I've tried to record several times and every single time the camera just doesn't seem right, so here we are. Today we're looking at the debut studio album for one of the most interesting, underrated artists of the modern alt-pop scene, Ashnikko with Weedkiller. This was preceded by Demi Devil in 2021, which spawned mega hits like Tantrum and the Grimes edition with Cry. And the lead up to this album has been nothing short of loud, in-your-face, and devilish in the funnest ways, as is usual for Ashnikko. I've been waiting for the full release of the album to listen to anything past Worms, and the wait was worth it because this album is nothing but bangers from start to finish. I'm the kind of person who used to campaign, complain, and beg for longer albums that reach damn near an hour, but nowadays I've gotten more used to the idea of shorter experiences, especially when they're done right. All but one of the songs on Weedkiller fall under 3 minutes, and they're in and out before you know it, but the tracks do everything in their power to provide a unique vibe against each other. We have a song like Super Soaker, which is very grounded and gritty with stuttering lyrics and an instrumental that feels almost claustrophobic, but the song's contents seemingly touch on pure infatuation and a good turn on what the song sounds like versus what it's actually about. Lust and fascination is a common topic for Ashnikko, and we see it come back in a way later on with Moonlight Magic, a much more blatant song about infatuation, with someone in a sense that bridges on supernatural and wicked. Ash's lyrics are able to flip-flop between straight to the point and brutal to ethereal and trance-inducing, and I think Moonlight Magic runs a good line through the middle with comparisons to feeling like a groupie and asking if the person is the moon with how they're pulling them in like the tides. Backing it up a song with one of my immediate favorites going into the album was the unforgivably bitchy and cheer anthem inspired, well, Cheerleader. The influence for the song is somewhat easy to spot, with some lines being adapted or ripped from the movie Bring It On, and then the chorus having a section that spells out that same phrase, BRING ITON. I had to think about that for a sec. The song feels perfect for a sports event setting, or perhaps better suited for a live concert, with perfect opportunities for audience participation. If there's one thing that Ashnikko does so fucking well project to project, it's taking the idea of being over-sexualized and turning itself on its head. Where 1 second she's doing, on a surface level, sexually charged things on stage via dance routines or just vibing out, but then she sings about being a swarm of bees instead of a woman. This is just the kind of energy I love to see, and when it's turned into a musical outlet, it not only shines, but it's catchy as hell. A lot of Ashnikko's allure is in the lyricism and stories being told throughout an album, but there's some room to talk about the beats and instrumentals here as well on Weedkiller, and a major improvement in the situation in terms of looking back on Demi Devil, the previous project of hers. Here we have tracks like World Eater, which sound like the intro music for a new dictator, piano-like punches ringing in before being subdued by the lyrics and decrees. Then the percussion-heavy background of the song accents the verses and the lead up to the chorus in a way that follows the vocal delivery very well. The most abrasive and enjoyable song on the album for me in terms of instrumentals is without a doubt, though, You Make Me Sick, which is overall a confrontational song in its own right, with the overall sound being a good transition point between the old, pure brat pop sound to the almost apocalyptic soundscape that Weedkiller finds itself in. The light elements of trap metal also help it create an overall more unique sound for the rest of the album, something that I kept coming back to it for, even. Continuing the trend of unique, strong tracks, we have Chokehold Cherry Python, which comes in towards the album and almost feels like a freestyle rap in the way that its repetition starts to set in. Being described as a Harley Quinn-esque continuation of the bad bitch energy in Daisy, this song is one of the few that feels like it could have confidently stood out in the old mixtape as well as in this new era, with sound and energy complementing both sides of the same rusted and shiny coin that Ashnikko is. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about the last song, Dying Star. The last thing I expected going to an Ashnikko album was a collaboration with Sad Girl rep Ethel Kane in the closing song here. The song is self-described as a love song at its core, being all about stripping away the negative parts of the environment and ash and replacing it with a soft landing, a quieter end to the album when put up in comparison to the rest of the album thus far being loud and abrasive. It's not biting, crass, and aggressive like the rest, it's the quiet end to the universe when the supernovas are exploding in the sky. There's not a thing that Ashnikko does wrong in this album, with call and response anthems 1 second and then army march tracks the next. Ashnikko is putting out pure mega hits. Even a seemingly strong departure takes place that ends the album and it still stands as powerful. Weedkiller is without a doubt the best that Ashnikko has been, hands down, and for that reason, the reasons above, Weedkiller by Ashnikko gets an 8.5 out of 10, and that's a review. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I got a lot of new reviews coming up soon, and I can't wait for you guys to see what's going to happen. So, with that being the end of the video, hope you guys have a good day, stay hydrated, and I'll see you next time.